African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of October 26, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. Units of the North Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of 4 mechanized, a Jaeger, an airborne assault brigade, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Leninskoye, Kondratovka, Granovka, Korchakovka, Iskrskovshchina, Varakino, and Sino and Sumy region. On the Kharkiv direction, damage was inflicted on units of a heavy mechanized brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk and Balagovka in Kharkiv region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost over 190 servicemen, 4 armored combat vehicles, 9 cars, and 4 material supply depots. Units of the West Troop Group improved their position on the front line. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized, assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Alexandrovka, Krasny Lyman in the Donetsk People's Republic, Nechvolodovka, Kutkovka, Monokonovka, and Kupiansk in Kharkiv region. Enemy losses amounted to up to 230 servicemen, 4 armored combat vehicles, 18 cars. 7 electronic warfare stations and 4 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the South Troop Group improved their tactical position. Damage was inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized, assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Predtikino, Kuzmanovka, Ivanopoli, Seversk, Pleshchivka, and Konstantinovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost more than 240 servicemen, a tank, 2 U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers, 9 armored combat vehicles, 17 cars, 4 artillery guns, 4 electronic warfare stations, and a fuel depot. Units of the Center Troop Group occupied more advantageous lines and positions. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 6 mechanized, Jaeger, Airmobile, 2 assault, 3 airborne assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, and 2 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements of Krasnoarmysk, Grishino, Rodinsko, Dmitrov, Teretskoye in the Donetsk People's Republic, Ivanovka, and Novopavlovka in Dnipropetrovsk region. Losses of Ukrainian armed formations amounted to up to 505 servicemen, 3 Kazakh armored combat vehicles, 9 cars, and an ammunition depot. Units of the East Troop Group advanced deep into the enemy's defense. Defeated were formations of a mechanized brigade and 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Ravnopoli in Zaporizhia region, Novo-Alexandrovka, Danilovka, Orestopol, Tykoy, and Pokrovsko in Dnipropetrovsk region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost up to 300 servicemen, 4 armored combat vehicles, 14 cars, 2 artillery guns, 2 electronic warfare stations, and 2 ammunition depots. Units of the Dnepr Troop Group inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of the Mountain Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Stepnogorsk, Novodanilovka, and Pavlovka in Zaporizhia region. Up to 50 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 7 cars, an electronic warfare station, and a material supply depot were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces troop groups inflicted damage on energy facilities and mobile railway trains used for transporting weapons and military equipment to combat zones in Donbass. Workshops producing long-range unmanned aerial vehicles and their launch sites, an unmanned boat storage depot, and temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations in 147 areas. Air defense means shot down 3 guided aerial bombs and 116 airplane-type unmanned aerial vehicles. Since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 668 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 92,575 unmanned aerial vehicles, 633 anti-aircraft missile systems, 25,693 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,607 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 30,799 field artillery guns and mortars, 44,923 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.